Okay, so we are going to be talking about what we want out of Modern Warfare 2, 2022, and how we feel about the recent news that has dropped. By the time this video comes out, more news will probably have dropped, but, you know, we're in late May, so, yeah. Do what you need to do to understand where we're at. All right, so, Modern Warfare 2022, which topic you guys want to talk about? Gameplay or matchmaking? First, which one?
Gameplay.
All right. So gameplay, they're putting doors in the Modern Warfare 2 remastered maps.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not overly upset.
Really?
But...
Okay.
I'm not. Right. It's not like I haven't dealt with it for a year. You know?
I think that there's better things they could do, but
like leave the maps as they are. And just bump the graphics.
I can big garage door on Afghan.
No, right?
Just a door on the cave.
In the press. Yep. Oh man.
Oh my god. Remember when doors were like an interactive feature on Black Ops 1 and it blew our mind?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And now it's just a nuisance.
I was mind blown. I said, "Oh my goodness." You can unlock the door.
Its main purpose was literally for like search and destroy and domination, and they were like, you know what? Let's put doors everywhere. Maybe they'll like that. Oh my god. Okay. So doors in the maps. All right. I would prefer they didn't have doors in the remastered maps. Regular maps, they do what they want to do, but remastered maps are remastered maps. That's my opinion.
Joe, I think there should be no doors in the game because it disrupts flow.
Yes.
And, you know, people like to put claymores behind the doors, man. You know, I don't know if you watched game clips of, you know, the jokes and stuff. It gets annoying, man. We play the game every day. You know, I know you sit in the office 18 plus hours, you put in the work, you got to make the game. I understand. But we're out here suffering because you have doors in the game with claymores. Come on, man. We got to do better.
I think all he can do is pass this along. If he watches this, like he's like, I'm the art dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm the art dude. Like, okay, on that part of the game.
Coffee. That's it.
Like I can change maybe how the claymores look texture wise, but that's about fucking it.
Like it was disturbing because the claymores was loud. You know, the explosion was in your face. Like, and it was almost on every door, man.
Yeah,
I was scared to open doors.
That was one thing we forgot. Do you remember in Modern Warfare 2019, like during the early stages of the game, how quick the claymore went off?
Click, yes.
Every other kind. Oh my god!
As soon as you open the door, click, boom. That's it. You couldn't move. You'd be like, "Damn, that was a claymore. I didn't even know."
Like,
dude,
I'm spawning
it made the
again.
rage chat so much better too, because like especially when you got those motherfuckers who would just fall for it every goddamn time.
They determined to kill you, bro, and I'm one of them. I'll keep opening that door.
So the door also could damage you when it swung open. At least when the game first came
know
out.
That.
So, yeah. So if you put so on Shoot House, I put a C4 on the door, and then Chucky, I think, had a claymore, and the person went to open the door, and the claymore went off, and it didn't kill him, but my C4 got detonated by the claymore, and the door whipped back up against the wall, and he died. So, yeah, like, it was funny, but it's too much. It's too much. Doors are too much.
We gotta do better, Joe.
All right. So the next topic. Oh, pro perks coming back.
Now that I can get with.
Yeah. So I had, as I had told you before, I had seen some of the. We're not going to talk too much about the perks that I saw, but one of them was like Juggernaut. But it was like while running or something like that, and it's not complete, it's not finished, it may not even be in the game, it may be like up to change, but experimenting with stuff like that made me kind of sad. But at the same time, if it's like a pro perk ability, depending on how OP it is, if it's something you have to earn, that kind of changes it a little bit for me, but not too much. But just pro perks in general is something we haven't had since what?
I feel
Modern Warfare 3 or Black?
Black Ops 1.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Black
it would
Ops
be
1.
Black Ops
So-
1, yeah.
I feel like that adds another grind to the multiplayer, which is really good. You know,
A gameplay grind, not a bullshit
Yeah.
grind. Like,
because I feel like if they're gonna have pro perks, they need to have it where the perks stand out when they're pro. Let's just not add something like one little, incentive that you get and it doesn't, change the game.
right.
If we're grinding for the pro perk, it should give us at least, something more of an advantage because we're grinding for it.
I want to see attachment challenges like in Modern Warfare 2 make a return. Like, for example, if you want the thermal sight, you got to get so many headshots with the ACOG scope. Or, like, you want, I think one should be, like, you want the fast mags, you got to get so many kills using extended mag. Stuff like that. Like, those types of gameplay, grinds for unlocking stuff to actually use in the gameplay rather than just, like, cosmetic grinds. Like, cosmetic grinds were fun. Like, they're funnest when it was just like calling cards and emblems, in my opinion. The only cosmetic grinds I liked after that was the ones they did in Modern Warfare 2019, because it was like, I mean, on Modern Warfare Remastered, not MW 2019, because Modern Warfare Remastered, you didn't have to buy stuff. You could just unlock it if you like grinded enough for it, and like do some challenges and stuff like that. But yeah, like I want to see more like grinds for like mechanically useful stuff within the gameplay. Modern Warfare 2 had tons of that. It's awesome.
If they're gonna do cosmetic things, and I might get some hate for saying this, but I think they need to bring back the Advanced Warfare format where the more you grind, the more cases you get, but you don't have to pay to open them. Do not add keys, because that's stupid. Just have it where you can grind.
Drops here now.
The thing is that they're not gonna drop those without having people pay for it, and therefore they're not gonna drop them at all because it's illegal to drop those and have people pay for it because it's considered gambling now. So it's never coming back in the form that would have been preferable because they can't bring it back in the form that would give them gambling on children.
Gambling on children. Yeah. What a way to put it. But yeah, you're not wrong.
But no, I actually agree to a fair extent to have like, it would have been fun to have, well, Modern Warfare Remastered had that where you earn it. And then once you, like, you can spend your points on like the 10 or the 30 and, it would give you these random things and like each category is categorized by season. And if you got a duplicate, that money would go back to, like, towards buying something outright, which was cool. So if you got a bunch of duplicates, for example, you would get a bunch of points built up that you could then go to the depot and just find the thing you're trying to get and buy it outright with points you earned in the game, which was dope.
I still believe in in-game currency besides COD points.
Black Ops 1, Black Ops 1, bro.
In-game currency. Now, we could have crates, we could have a closet, where we can open up a supply box or a supply drop without spending any money with in-game currency. I think that would be a whole new realm to open up, try to test.
Right.
Because I feel like with the blueprints that they add now in the store, I feel like it doesn't show off enough, if that makes sense. It doesn't have that feeling of, I'm gonna check the store and I'm just gonna buy it.
Again, Modern Warfare Remastered. Look at the weapons kits. It didn't matter what attachments you had on the gun. The weapons kit still showed your gun in that form. In Modern Warfare 2019, if you get a fucking weapons kit or weapons variant, it only looks that way if you keep the attachments that it came with.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like they need an in-game currency to where you can unlock a set-aside things besides the stuff that's dropping in the store.
Yes.
I think that would that grind in itself will make people want to play, because you could get a weapon kit from, let's just say, Modern Warfare Remastered for your M4, or you could get this cool, ACR kit if you, grind up to these crates or whatever. Just something.
I'm telling you,
Like
dude, Modern Warfare Remastered was the blueprint. I'm sorry, it
it
just
was.
fucking
No, it
was.
was. It
Well,
was. It was.
so it almost was, in my opinion.
All right, go
The
for it.
one, the one thing that they needed to fix that they never fixed for it, and this was like our biggest gripe about it for its lifespan, really, was the fact that like the currency that you would get to buy the crates, excuse me, in the first place, it was generally the same no matter how you played your game and how long the match went on.
I agree, that should be fixed.
Always the same, and that needs to be fixed by far.
It should be based on how much XP you earn in the match.
Yeah, because that was by far the most irritating thing about all of it. It was cool having the unlocks and everything, but like the fact that like every single game you would only earn like 1 to 3
Certain
like
amount.
credits for the crates was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Ops 1's currency was literally the peak as far as that goes because it was totally based off of how well you performed in that match.
Yep.
And it was perfect.
And I think they should bring back mercenary contracts from Black Ops.
Mm-hmm.
Contracts in game. Give me something to do while I'm in the match, where I could earn some currency in the game to unlock stuff.
Let me tell you, I knew all the way back in Modern Warfare 3 that going to the token system over the currency system from Black Ops 1 was going to be a nuisance for the rest of Call of Duty's lifespan. I knew that all the way back then.
Yeah, and I that's just another incentive for the multiplayer. In-game currency.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Be good.
I don't really remember the currency in Black Ops, to be honest.
Remember,
Yeah, you
could buy it when you would get a gun, you would have all the attachments, and the attachments were priced differently, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and then the reticles were like 100, 200, whatever. And so instead of instead of having to earn them outright, you could just buy them outright. So
in-game currency.
Yeah,
and then at a certain prestige level, you could unlock gold and different
save up
camos
50 grand.
Yep, 50 grand per gun. See, that adds the grind. Now
Yes.
you could just, I'm just going to sit in ground war.
Now
and get
this probably
headshots.
won't be in Modern Warfare 2 because the creative ethos of like putting themselves in the headspace of the game that they're remastering really won't apply to that. But the next Black Ops game, I mean, I would like to see that. If they're going to go with the whole creative ethos thing for the game they're like rebooting or whatever, they should definitely look into the currency, in-game currency for
aspect,
unlocks and
man,
stuff.
because it was fun, man.
Yeah.
You could buy your perks, you could buy your reticules, attachments, even having this way of having classified weapons from Black Ops.
Ooh,
1.
yes,
you
that was
unlock
dope.
you have your whole category bought, and you get a classified weapon.
And when the game
G11.
dropped, that got people talking, bro.
Yeah,
Everybody
man,
was talking
the
when the game
stoner,
dropped.
like certain things like that don't need to leave because that's what makes the multiplayer. Now you
Yeah.
just have a bland multiplayer where we're just grinding for camos. The
Yeah.
challenges don't matter because we're not getting any good titles or emblems anymore.
I hate that with like Modern Warfare 3 and forward, they changed the in-game currency to something like tokens, and then they were like, yeah, people don't really like the tokens, so let's get rid of it. Let's try something else. And it's like, well, look, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater in in-game currency because you switch it to something that people don't like. We never got a second chance for Black Ops 1's in-game currency system.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I feel like that needs to change.
Yep. No, I totally agree with that. Minimap's coming back.
That's cool. It should have never left.
Should have never left.
That's just what it is.
Yep. Like I remember when Black Ops Cold War dropped, and I was like, why could they have not just done this?
But you that it was talked about for a while because they never changed it. That was a key for them in the game design.
It was something. It was a vision that they were sticking to, as I was told.
Yeah,
I was told that it was a
we're
vision.
committed.
Mm-hmm.
We're committed to it. We're gonna stick to it. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. It's also like them having a vision to stay committed to the engagement optimized matchmaking system until they hope it actually works, and then it doesn't. It's the same thing. Staying committed to something, hoping that it pans out when it doesn't.
That's
Yeah.
tough. I don't believe patents of skill based matchmaking. EOMM.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just feel
EO.
like it destroys the
I'm gonna put when I put this video out, I'm gonna put the chart up of the player retention, like the actual chart of the player retention based off of the data released by Activision, and just show just how well that that system worked for player retention. It didn't, and that leads us to the next group of information, which is on engagement optimized matchmaking. So this is from a report that came out recently. It basically states that skill-based matchmaking is still a matter of trial and error. So for the past 3 years, this new form of skill-based matchmaking has continuously been trial and error. If you're stuck on something in trial and error for 3 years, it means it's not working. Like it's not performing the way you want. And they said that Vanguard failed to meet expectations. And so Activision now has a chance of wiping the slate clean, reviewing the system in its entirety to replace it. So they have a research and development effort from several studios contributing towards creating a, quote, liberal yet sensible system. So basically they're coming to terms with how bad the system was. And the research and development is basically them gathering data to assess the damage caused for the last 3 games. That's why they're getting all the devs to come on this effort, is to basically give us all the data so we show like how badly this really was a screw up so we don't do it again, you know?
They have to understand too is that I'm not trying to play a mirror image of myself. You know what I'm saying? That's just not fun.
It was like it was like everybody trying to kick the soccer ball into the goal and the ball just didn't move. And at the end of the game, everybody had like 10 kills equally. And the same amount of deaths. Literally, that sounds cartoony, but when Modern Warfare 2019 was out, I had so many
every match
screenshots,
was like that.
so many screenshots of the in-game results where everybody scored exactly the same, and I was like, this is like unbearably boring. So let me see. What is the next part? Oh, so they want to make a system that accommodates all brackets of skill, high and low. An associate briefly mentioned that the new framework would become less debilitating for the better margin of players instead of penalizing them whilst allowing a protected bracket to coexist for lower skilled players. So they're talking about putting, the very low people who are either brand spanking new or handicapped in their own bracket against each other. But like in some of those lobbies, they would also fill them with bots. Which is not a bad idea for new and handicapped players. That's not a bad thing. I don't think anybody's arguing that was a bad thing. That's pretty similar to how they protected the very low players back in Black Ops 2. But that's what we've wanted. Like they've had that shit figured out pretty well back in Black Ops 2. The skill-based matchmaking then. So they're just basically giving us a simplified system where the people at the very bottom play against each other. The people above a certain level of skill will be put in larger match pools, which means better ping connection. Because if you remember, when skill-based matchmaking was through the roof on Modern Warfare 2019, I was getting like 200 ping average. Because it was like, oh, you got to be matched with a really small match pool.
Well, if ping's better, I'm always happy about that because I always get crappy ping. But
right.
Hopefully that changes in MW2. I hope that they don't just come out with the same game from 2019 and put an $80, $90 price tag on it. And expect us to be happy about that because I'm tired of buying the same game with the same maps for the same price or more than what I paid the year before, the 2 years before.
Right.
What they really need to do is they need to actually have, like how it was in older CODs, where you could see everybody's ping on the scoreboard. And you can know, okay, this person, he has like 150 ping for whatever reason, but this person has like 20 ping. And I currently have like 40 ping, so it's not great, but it's not awful, and I can just deal with that.
Right. Right. I mean, getting rid of that, I think, is akin to the same reason they got rid of player count in multiplayer pre-lobbies. because it's information they just don't want people to see because it doesn't look good. If your skill-based matchmaking is so high that everybody in a lobby has like 200 plus ping, people are going to instantly go, hey, that's kind of broken. It's obviously broken. Something's very wrong there. So, yeah, they don't want that. The other thing is the faster movement. The movement is a little bit faster, a little bit smoother. Modern Warfare 2019 felt very congested and suppressed. It felt like my character was, I don't know, like duct taped with a bunch of pillows and just struggling to like move his arms sometimes.
Fucking turtle, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Great turtle, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about that stuff.